Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we finally are revisiting Goon Scam, which is a deck that I played 2 years ago. It was actually the first Pauper deck that I played on the channel, and it looked quite a bit different at that time. It was a blue-black mid-range / control deck that was trying to utilize Girder Goons to get a ton of value, because I think this card is just awesome. It's a 5-mana 4/4 that dies and creates a 2/2 tapped black rogue creature token, which is not that exciting, but you can blitz it for 4 mana, which means it has haste, sacrifices itself at the end step, and draws you a card, which means you're able to attack immediately, get an extra creature, and draw your card. And if you're able to not dead after all the Girder Goons so that it comes back, you then get another 4/4 with a 2/2, or actually a 5/5 because the not dead after all pumps it, as well as hitting for 4 damage, drawing a card, and making that token. So I think this combo is extremely powerful, and I just haven't been able to find the right shelf for it, and I think we might be able to make it work here. So we're playing a Jund Wildfire kind of list, because the main problem with Girder Goons is I think it's just like 1 mana too expensive. 4 mana is okay, but having to pay that extra mana for the not dead after all really makes it difficult to fit into your curve, and there are obviously a lot better things you can be doing for 5 mana in the format. So we have 2 main ways to try to fix this. One is the Cleansing Wildfire. We're trying to ramp so that we can do this on turn 4 instead of turn 5, which can make a big difference. So of course we have a bunch of bridges for the Cleansing Wildfires as well as basics, but we're also playing Thunderscape Familiar. I think the Familiars are a really cool cycle of creatures that understandably usually get used for more broken combo means, but I'm trying to just use it fairly to get a nice cost reduction. So it's a 1/1 for 2 with first strike, and black and green spells you cast cost 1 less, which means most of our deck is black and generally costs 2 mana, so you can reduce it to a single mana so that you can pseudo storm off, but of course we're not actually doing anything with storm. This reduces the Girder Goons blitz to just 3 mana, making it so we can go for the combo on turn 4, just as if we had wildfired and ramped a little bit. But black has tons of great 2-drops in the format, so we're also playing Cast Down, of course, Eviscerator's Insight, and Fanatical Offering for card draw. Because of those, we have a couple Colony Gardens, so that we can have a little bit more fodder. We're also playing Mephitic Draft, as opposed to Ichor Wellspring. This is basically the same card, although harder to cast, and it loses you a life when it enters and when it leaves. But it being black means we can cost reduce it with the Thunderscape Familiar, which can be really powerful. We also have a couple Reckoner's Bargains in here. I forgot about that. So we have a 3/2/2 split of these 2-mana draw 2s. The reason is that I wanted to have some life gain in the deck so that we didn't just absolutely get pulverized by a burn deck. One of the main responses I got when I played that last scam deck was that I should try Augur of Skulls. This is a 2-mana creature that can basically mind rot your opponent in your upkeep. And if you cast a Not Dead After All on it, you can actually take 4 cards from your opponent's hand for just 2 of your own, which is absolutely a steal. Not to mention we can cost reduce this with the Familiar. And I wanted other creatures that would be decent Not Dead After All targets, but also expendable, so we could sacrifice to our various draw effects. So we're playing some Guildsworn Prowler, which can draw you additional cards, or makes for a great Death Touch blocker or attacker. This is also combining another idea I had for another deck, which I'll probably get to at some point, but that's the turn 3 Monarch deck. Monarch is a very strong ability, and if you can reliably get it on turn 3, this can increase our ability to snowball. So we're playing a couple Throne of the Black Rose, which we can get on turn 3 through either Cleansing Wildfire or Thunderscape Familiar. Now we're technically a Jund deck. We're primarily black and then red, and we have a couple Walker of the Grove. This is just a card I want to try out. It's a 7/7 for 8 mana. When it leaves the battlefield, you create a 4/4. And of course you can invoke it for 5 mana or 4 mana with the Thunderscape Familiar. If you evoke this right away and then not dead after all it, you'll be left behind with an 8/8 that still dies into a 4/4 as well as a 4/4. This is extremely high upside, but definitely expensive, and I'm not 100% sure this will work, but I figured what better time to try it out than here. Then in our sideboard, we have some Duress, Extract Confession, Arms of Adar, Weather the Storm, and Nile Spellbomb. So I'm very excited to try this out. Let's take it for a league and see how it goes. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. All right, here we have on the play. Double tap land's a little awkward, but I think we're going to keep it. We have all 2-drops. If I can get an untapped land, we can go for a Wildfire turn 2. If not, it'll be turn 3. Hand could be a little slow, and of course the deck is maybe a little slow, but we'll see how it goes here. Start with the Drawsforge Bridge and pass. We get another Drawsforge Bridge, so unfortunately we don't have anything to cast this turn. Looks like we're against Spy. Spy could be a tough one. We don't have Graveyard Hate main deck. We're definitely going to be a little too slow to be able to just race them. But with cast downs, maybe wildfires blowing up their lands, maybe we can disrupt them enough to get there. Of course, that means I might want to hold the cleansing wildfire, though I really want to use it to ramp here. They didn't do all that much. We do get a landscape. I mean, I think we got to go for our game plan here of ramping. I will say the only green spells in our main deck are the Walkers of the Grove, which are 5 mana, so we don't really need to get forests super early. Or green mana, rather, which is nice because we are actually not playing any forests in the deck because we already have the Slagwood Bridges and the Colony Gardens, and again, we only have those a couple green cards in the main deck. We do have quite a few green cards in the sideboard, so it's possible we should be playing 1 forest, but we're so heavy black that's a little difficult. We do have a wildfire. They're going to cycle a troll, and they're just going to cast a spy. Interesting. I guess they could just spy here and then go for another spy next turn, I assume is their game plan. Dread Return, Lawless Giant. This would be really punishing if I had like Nile Spellbombs in our main deck, but we unfortunately don't. I can wildfire their swamp here, assuming they only have 4 lands. That might be the play. It's the only way to keep them off another spy next turn, so yeah, I think it is. And if they're playing 5 lands, then we're just out of luck. But looks like they are not. And I could play a Prowler, or I could just play a Draft. I guess we'll just play a Prowler. There's a Caretaker. Fortunately, that means they can probably just cast another spy next turn and we're going to die. Unless I can get like 2 cast downs or something. Or I guess drawing another wildfire would help. They swing for 2. Play a Gatekeeper Vine. Fanatical. Let's swing for 2. I think we just sack this to draw 3. We do get a cast down. Fortunately, 1 cast down's not really gonna save us, but we'll pass here. Swing with the spy, and they just cast another. Target themselves. Let's see if they have anything interesting. Nope, just the same old stuff as everyone. Get spell bombs, maybe Arms of Adar. We saw some elves and things. Unfortunately, it feels like Walker and Goons are probably just too slow. Augur could be good in this match. Alright, on the play. This one's interesting. We have the turn 2 Wildfire. We also have the Thunderscape Familiar. We could potentially hit a turn 3 Thorn. I'm not sure we actually have the removal and stuff to keep up with them. I guess if we get a Spell Bomb and they don't get a Vandal for a long time, that's our best way to win. Start with a Ranger and a Land Grant. Haunting Misery means that a Spell Bomb doesn't actually do it, so that's unfortunate. Colony Garden is interesting. We're definitely playing a 2-drop though. I could play Thunderscape. No, I should go for the Wildfire because then it gives us an extra draw to hit the Thorn next turn. Actually, if I hit an untapped land. And if I don't, I could still just play Thunderscape and Guildsworn next turn. Overgrown Battlement. We do get the Spell Bomb for all it's worth. Play Thunderscape Familiar, Guildsworn Prowler, Colony Garden. They play a Caretaker, tap and untap. They go for a Lead the Stampede. There's 2 Vandals right there. They don't have any way to put creatures in the yard, though, that we've seen. Another Caretaker, which means I can maybe keep this bridge, although Spellbomb is like doubly a waste. They do just play a Vandal out anyway, maybe not realizing they didn't have anything in their yard or something. So I can play Thorn, hold up Offering, and I can even play Spellbomb. Again, Spellbomb's not great. I think for now I'm just sacrificing this plant with the Offering. Augur of Skulls. We have no way to bring it back yet and take their whole hand, so I think we're looking for Not Dead After All now. We're going to play the Thorn, play a Landscape, sack that for a Swamp. Might as well swing 2 because I still have 2 blockers. And step we draw a Swamp. I thought about putting some Snuff Outs in this deck, either main deck or sideboard, for this type of matchup. Feels like a little bit of a waste because we don't get the cost reduction unless we hard cast it from the Familiar, but I guess you can't really cost reduce from free. But Snuff Outs still probably wouldn't be bad. I mean, I would have loved to draw a cast down at some point here, to be fair. They go for a Lead the Stampede, finding a Wall of Roots and a Generous Ent. Cycle the Ent. That turns on their other Vandal if they want to take away our bridge, in which case I can sack the Landscape for red mana for our other Wildfire potentially. Although with their Quirion Ranger, Wildfire is a little worse. If we get like double Arms of Adar, I could wipe their board mostly. Tough to get there, but that would be one of our best ways to potentially win the game. Sack a Landscape. We will grab red. I wouldn't mind more black mana, but I don't want to be without red entirely. Guildsworn Prowler. They have, 3 attackers? We're going to play this and probably the other Thorn here. So we'll swing for 3. Play an Augur. Guildsworn. Actually, I guess I can leave up Spellbomb and regenerate for the Augur. And this way, if I draw Cast Down, I can use it. Alright, we'll pass. I could take 2 cards with the Augur, but that's not going to be very helpful unless they discard or play spells down to like 1 or 2 cards, because then they also have Quarrying Ranger to bounce a land. There's a Gatecreeper Vine, and a Lead the Stampede, finding a Spy and a Caretaker. So they're 1 land away from being able to spy and just haunting Misery us right away. Well, they're just casting the Spy. I guess they already have the land in hand, or they're just going for it. Just going for it seems crazy with a Spellbomb on board. But yeah, their graveyard, giant 2 Dread Returns. If those are their only Dread Returns, then Spellbomb might be pretty good here. I guess they can here Dread Return a Spy to go for the rest of it, but I get to blow up their graveyard in response, so the Spy doesn't happen. And they're also losing 10 creatures. Yeah, they're just going to Haunting Misery us. Okay, fair enough. Exiling all those creatures. All right, we'll take 10. There's a Caretaker and a Vandal. They got rid of every single creature in their grave. Unless I'm immensely blind, they shouldn't be able to get rid of the Spellbomb. And since they use their Haunting Misery, unless they have another one, maybe because of this Augur Skulls, they just wanted to discard their entire hand. But I'm okay with it. I'm not sure what their game plan is now. Attack with Quarrying Ranger, Vandal, Vandal. Okay, well, this has First Strike, so I get to eat the Ranger. This is Death Touch, so these will trade. And then this can regenerate, so I don't really lose anything. I mean, these trade and I don't get a card because I'm blocking, but otherwise I don't lose much. They do have a Spy, which can fly over to take the Monarch next turn, but then I have a bunch of Death Touchers to make them block, and then I can play a Thorn anyway to take it back. And if I just get a Cast Down for the Spy, that'd be pretty good. We got a Wildfire. Well, we don't have a bridge, so I'd probably just blow up their land, even though they already have a ton of mana. But they lost their Quarrying Ranger, plus I guess they can't bounce a swamp anyway. We draw another Spellbomb, play a Landscape. They have 2 Vandals, but they're just going to fly over anyway, so I think I just attack with the Thorn and our 2 Death Touchers to hit for 3. Spellbomb. I maybe should have mapped onto this first. It's an extra attack. Power. Mephitic Draft. We can just put in the graveyard, because I'm kind of looking for a Cast Down here to get the Spy. We get a bridge. Swing with the Spy. We'll take 2. They're just going to pass. I think I'm just going to crack a Spellbomb. We have 2. They've already kind of blown their load a little bit. Plus, this gets rid of 2 Dread Returns, which I kind of think is probably all they're playing. Mephitic Draft, unfortunately, it's going to lose its life here. Might have to play it to just draw, though. They have 2 cards in hand now. This is probably a good time to Augur. Augur's not doing a ton else at the moment. They get rid of a Haunting Misery and a Winding Way. Yeah, those are pretty good ones to hit. Play the Draft. Another Augur. We'll go to combat and attack with our Death Touchers. Force them to chump with a couple things, which they do. Then I'll just play a Thorn. Take back the Monarch anyway. Play a Bridge. Play an Augur. And pass. Viscerator's Insight. They get a Wildling. That's pretty good. Kind of means we just die in the air next turn if I can't get some life gain or kill spells. They take the Monarch, sack Landscape for a swamp. They draw a card. I could make them discard their 1 card to this Augur. Yeah, it's kind of not doing that much else. Like, it's never getting in. There's only 1 creature on the ground to block at this point, which I don't need it for. We need a Quarrying Ranger. It's not terrible. There's a Cast Down. We are going to Eviscerator's Insight the draft, even though we lose a life here. We at least have the Cast Down for the Wildling so we don't instantly die. Unless I play another draft and then die to the Spy. It's really nice having these for 1 mana. I kind of think I'm going to sack this Spellbomb. No, I think we're just sacking this land. Draw 2. Arms of Vidar. Okay, that doesn't currently kill anything. And everything that we're attacking with has Death Touch. So that doesn't really matter too much. Unless I can get another one. Alright, we're going to attack. Swing with these 3. They're going to take it. Okay, that's pretty good for us. We get the Monarch. Hit them down by 5. Can't play another draft or we'll die. I'll play a Bridge and immediately sacrifice it. Could just sacrifice a Thorn, but that's currently our damage. Let's sack this. We get Guildsworn, Girder Goons. Play another Prowler. Pump it up with the map. Cleansing Wildfire. Put that in the yard. We'll pass. We draw a Spellbomb. They attack with their flyers. We'll cast down the Wildling, and then we'll take 2, go down to 1. We have a whole bunch of Death Touchers to get in. I need a kill spell for this Spy, or we're going to lose. They have a Monarch, trigger, draw a Cast Down. There we go. Can't play draft. I could Girder Goons for 3. That's another attacker. Sure, let's do that. Attack with everybody but the Familiar. Forces at least 1 block, and they'll take 8. Alright, they're going to block a few of them, finally. 2 still gives us the Monarch. But I guess they're trying to make sure they have, like, mana to just play, like, a Lotleth Giant if they draw it. I guess our Spellbomb can keep us from dying there. Okay, actually, they are going to block everything. I'm okay with that. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana now. Play a Bridge, play a Spellbomb, and pass. This is going to sacrifice, draw us a card, make a zombie. Not a zombie, a rogue. And we get another cast down. Ooh, actually, do I just want to cast down this Battlement now? Then they have 2 mana, and what could they possibly do with 2 mana? I think so. We need to make sure this dies first, in case they had some weird counter spell. Or a hexproof spell. But now we pass to them. They got 2 mana to make us lose a life. Ooh, 3 mana. Lotus Petal. Lead the Stampede. Alright, we won that game. Bit of a slog, but we got there. We saw some cool stuff that we were able to do. I did take out the Reckoner's Bargains, because I feel like we're not likely to usually care about the life gain. Here it would have been nice, but I think we have the right deck here. Actually, I guess maybe some Duresses for the Haunting Miseries. It also can take card draw spells, so it's not terrible. Maybe that would have been okay. I think we got a mulligan this one. Spellbomb, we've seen, doesn't necessarily keep us alive. And then obviously we just have 1 land. Everything else is not very good. We'll keep this one. Put back a landscape. They have a Lotus Petal, Land Grant. And they have the Masked Vandal and the Generous Ent. That's a pretty good draw. It's just a land that doesn't get immediately blown up. So I'm going to do that, and then next turn probably play the Twisted Landscape and sacrifice it. I just think losing a land is going to be pretty detrimental. They play a Wall of Roots. We get a Spellbomb. I could play a Spellbomb. They go for the Vandal. I blow up their grave. It would even let me play a Bridge and then not be able to blow it up. We've seen the Bridge, or the Spellbomb is not that helpful. I mean, it's still helpful. It was still good. It just wasn't as good with their Miseries, but they have to draw the Misery. They're going to have the Vandal Spellbomb sometime anyway. I think we just do it. There's the Vandal. They target our Bridge. That's the thing. I can crack the Spellbomb, but if they have another Generous Ent to cycle in response, they actually get both of them. And that's pretty bad. I think I'm just going to let them take the Bridge. I don't know. Keep the Spellbomb around for now. Play another Bridge. Hope they don't have another Vandal with another Generous Ent. There's a Caretaker and a Winding Way. Hits Caretaker, Giant, and Gate Creeper Vine. They swing for 1. We get a cast down. Cast this down. They still have 4 mana. Doesn't do too much. Luckily, they don't have a ton of the scary cards, like Battlement and stuff. So I think I just play Draft here. Could go for an Insight, but I kind of want to save the plant token for when we have the Thorn as like another blocker. Also, we got Familiar, which is nice. Next turn, I can go Familiar plus like a draw 2. Try to hit another land drop. There's Gate Creeper Vine. Play a Swamp. Play a Caretaker. We'll take a damage, crack this for a Swamp. We get a Draft. Let's play Thunderscape Familiar. Just go for the Insight. Another Familiar. No land, unfortunately. We're going to pass. Cycle a Generous Ent. And they fail to find. Shouldn't they have 1 forest left? I mean, they must have it in their hand, and they just did this for like a Vandal. Yup. Spellbomb, which means if they have the Spy, they're just going to... Maybe they intentionally failed to find. I don't know. Well, we'll exile their graveyard. They go for a Lead the Stampede. Hits a Spy and another Vandal. They swing for 1. We get a Wildfire. But they have Caretakers and Lotus Petal, so they have plenty of mana, including black mana. Cast Down doesn't do much here. Playing another Familiar doesn't do much, so I think we're just playing Draft and trying to draw... I mean, another Spellbomb if they can't put a thing in the grave with the Masked Vandal would be decent. Arms of Vidar would kill a couple of these, but we can't currently cast that. I think we're drawing a bunch and hoping for the best. I mean, cast downs are decent. We do get a Swamp and a Spellbomb. I can't cast something down now because it lets them Vandal, and maybe they don't have a way to Vandal yet, in which case I just have to discard something here at the end step. Probably it's not dead after all. It's not super relevant right now. The Wall of Roots can sack itself, basically, because it was low enough. That's unfortunate. We have to assume they have another way to get their last land because they failed to find it before. I mean, I have to crack the Spellbomb, and I might as well hold up Cast Down because maybe it'll matter, but it seems unlikely. I could Cast Down now and exile an extra creature. I think the chances that they have enough creatures in their deck are still pretty high to hit for 13, but maybe not. Maybe that's the way we get there. I mean, if they have it, then the Cast Down doesn't matter anyway, so I guess this is the only way that maybe we have a shot. We'll go for the Caretaker. Theoretically, in the world where they don't win this turn, I could cast down both Caretakers and Wildfire the Swamp, but I'm pretty confident we're going to be losing this turn. I just doing our best to avoid it. They have the Spy, and they reveal their whole deck, so they must just have the land in hand and they never played it for some reason. Oh no, wait, there's a swamp in their yard. They literally milled, they just went for it, and it was the very last card. There was a swamp in their deck. Well, that's kind of crazy. They just Hail Married it. Well, I mean, we did all right, I guess. All right, this is a pretty good hand. Hopefully we're against something a little more fair. I guess this is technically kind of something a little more fair. And we can actually do our game plan a little bit. Rakdos Madness might be just hard to compete with in speed. We will see. They go for a robbery. Discarding a snacker. Very interesting. Never would have guessed. So Thunderscape Familiar is the most value if it doesn't die right away. Because next turn I can then Wildfire and Augur of Skulls. I guess if I just Wildfire, I could still do Thunderscape and Augur next turn, and then Slagwood's Bridge, and I'd just be missing out on like 1 damage, which is not that big of a deal. And then I get to Bridge. Yeah, actually maybe it's better to do it this way then. Get the value from the Thunderscape Familiar right away by casting something for a cost reduction immediately. This makes it so I can't Girder Goons next turn. I don't think I was doing that anyway, because I would like to get our Scam piece for it. Goons is admittedly a little underpowered if it's just blitzed or just cast and not scammed. But if it is scammed, I think it's really powerful. They go for Elms of the Vein. We get a Reckoner's Bargain. I mean, that's not bad either with the Goons because we can gain 5 off of it. So we'll play Familiar, we'll play Augur, but I think we're going to also hold up the Bargain, so if they try to kill one of these, I can bargain it. Because if they kill the Familiar, then it doesn't matter. I can't Blitz and Reckoner's Bargain next turn anyway, because it'll be 6 mana and I'll only have 5, but if it survives, it'll only be 4 mana and I can do both. That's not a bad combo either, even if we're not scamming the Goons, just gaining 5 off of it and drawing 2 is pretty good. Of course, if we get the Not Dead After All next turn, I could do all 3, scam it and draw 5. Oh, it'd be real good. Not draw 5, gain 5, draw 2, and scam. That would be our best way to win for sure. They're going for a Grab the Prize, discarding Fiery Temper to the face. So we're taking 5, swing for 2. Unfortunately, they're leaving up a mana, so if I go for the Augur of Skulls to try to take their hand, well, 2 cards from their hand, they have so many cards still, they probably can Madness something. Still feels like it's kind of what we're supposed to do. Even if they do Madness, it still takes the cards from their hand, so they have fewer in hand, even if they're getting some value off of it. And this Augur is otherwise just attacking for 1, so yep, they get to Fiery Temper. At our face, we will draw for turn. Fanatical Offering, I mean, that's not bad, but it's not quite what we were wanting. We are going to Blitz this guy, attack for 5. We'll gain 5, draw 3, because we draw 1 from the Blitz anyway. And I guess I'll play a Guildsworn Prowler. Probably just die, even though we're at 9. They go for a Vampire's Kiss, attack for 2 with the Snacker, and pass. Well, we're going to get a Walker of the Grove, check an Evoke, and then sack to Fanatical Offering to get a 4/4. If I could draw my other Reckoner's Bargain off of this offering for this Prowler. No, this is 4 mana. Oh, wait, no, because I can play. Yeah, we have 6, 4 mana. Okay, yeah, if I can get my other Reckoner's Bargain, I could gain 8 off of this Walker. That's the best way we can win here. Or survive, rather. So we're going to attack for 5. We have 3 card draws with this offering on the Prowler to get there. If we don't get there, I'm pretty sure we're dead. But if we do, we could maybe Girder Goons. Double Walker, come on. Now I guess I could. No, I'm going to run out of black mana. Unless I get a Swamp and the Reckoner's Bargain, then I could Blitz the Girder Goons and still gain 5. I'm just pretty sure we're dead at 5. Like, they need 1 bolt. So I'm going to Offering this map. We get Swamp Girder Goons, or Swamp. No, it's not it. Not Dead After All. Man, if we just had these earlier, we could have done some stuff. I'm very confident we're dead, so I'm just gonna Wildfire. I'm not gonna show any additional cards like the Walkers. Play this and just pass. They have a Fiery Temper with the Snacker will kill us. Yeah, it's possible we need more of the Reckoner's Bargains in the deck. I could see that, especially against this type of opponent. We do get Weather and Duress and Spellbomb. That's too many cards, I think. Augur doesn't feel very good. Thorn seems risky. Kind of want to keep these for those bargains. Had a couple drafts and a couple cast downs, so maybe I will bring in like a couple Spellbombs. All right, we have a turn 2 Prowler into Offering. I guess that's okay. Play a Bridge and pass. Play our Prowler. They go for a Vampire's Kiss. We do get Weather the Storm. It's pretty good. So we're definitely getting our green mana down. Attack for 2. We're just going to pass. Mana efficiency says I want to like offering this at the end step. I could save it so that like next turn I could hold up this and weather the storm. So we're adding 3 life. But I probably can draw another something. I don't know. Ooh, Kitchen Imp off of Grab the Prize. Kind of wish that I had weather up right now. I mean, that's just 9 life, but still pretty decent. Yeah, I think we're just going to sack the Prowler to draw 3 here. More walkers. Fanatical Offering, alright. And a bargain. Unfortunately, without a familiar, it's 7 mana to go for Walker bargain. So we're a little bit of ways from that, but let's pass here with Fanatical Weather the Storm up. They go for a Highway Robbery and another Kitchen Imp. Cast that. Swing for 4. I'm just going to offering the map here. Another Weather the Storm. Obviously, I'd love them to play like a Voldarn Epicure or something, but even if not, we'll take 12 life here. Landscape, we'll play a bridge and pass. I guess I could have just evoked one of these walkers now as a 4/4. Start attacking in. Seems okay. And then the next one I try to save for the bargain. Blood token away a mountain. Blood token away an Alms of the Vein. We take 3. Now I could bargain weather here, which gains us 3 off the bargain essentially. I don't think that's quite where we want to be. Bajuka Bog, that's fine. So we'll just cycle a landscape on the end step here. There's Girder Goons. So I could Goons bargain here. We're 1 turn away from going for the Walker bargain, which is 3 additional life, but also, are we just going to die? We don't have anything else going on here. I think we do go for Goons. Swing for 4, bargain it to gain 5 life. Draw 3 cards. I guess means we have to discard. Another weather. Discard this tap land probably. We do get the other bargain. That's kind of what I was hoping for. So I can go for Walker bargain next turn. Vampire's Kiss. Of course this means another turn of not holding up Weather the Storm. Fiery Temper. I guess I could also just hold up like bargain weather. I'm at 5 here. Unless they just have lethal. Epicure. They would need a 4 damage spell. Epicure. So we go to 3. So I guess Walker bargain doesn't even give us... And we're 1 mana short of this Not Dead After All on the Walker, which would be really good, and then bargain it. It would put us to 11, which is probably, we go back down to 7 with the Kitchen Imps. It could have 7. So it's either that, or I could cast Not Dead After All on this Rogue, which is a waste, but then I get to Reckoner's Bargain something, and then I get to weather for 21 total. I think I'm going to chance it with this guy evoked first. Gain 8. When it leaves, we make a 4/4, and we won't attack. We drew a couple extra 1-drops, so next turn, if we're not dead, I can play 5 spells. We get 27 off the 2 weathers. Discard a Snacker. Discard another Snacker. Well, that's pretty good. That's kind of the way to beat the Weather the Storms, is just have a bunch of damage in the air, unfortunately. Discard a Mountain. And also we just drew the Spellbomb afterwards, which is really annoying. Swing for 4 with the Kitchen Imps. Get a bridge. So play a Spellbomb. Play a bridge. We're going to start attacking, because that's our win con. They're going to chump one of them. I'm going to Not Dead After All, which doesn't matter on these tokens, but each one of these Not Dead After Alls gains us 6 right now. Play a weather. Play another weather. Go up to 34. They have a Jagged Barrens. Swing for 9. Pass the turn. Get a Cleansing Wildfire. Cast that, pull out a Swamp, Fiddick Draft, map onto the Elemental, Girder Goons. We'll leave that on top. That increases our clock. Attack for 7 here, then we get to play a Walker, which is a 4/4, so we have 11, plus we get a Girder Goons, which is 15. Seems alright. They will, of course, have some blockers, but... Play Jagged Barrens, we'll take another damage. They attack for 8. They block here, they take 10, so they're not quite dead. If I get a cast down, I could kill the Epicure. I guess I only kept like 1 of those in. Draft loses a life, so I don't really want to use that. I think Spellbomb is fine, because at this point, if the Snackers die, they're probably gone long enough that it doesn't matter. We'll blitz the Goons, swing with the team, because they hit for 8. They only have to have 7 damage for us to die, which is not that unreasonable. And if I play a draft, I could maybe draw something relevant, but also it makes it so they only have to have 2 bolts, which is a pretty big difference. 6 and 7 is pretty relevant here, so we're just going to crack this. Alright, I mean, our best draw there obviously would have been a Weather the Storm. Probably couldn't lose if that's what we drew, but I mean, if they can't kill us here, then they have to leave everything back, because they're at 2. They are not attacking. That's a good sign. We'll cycle this landscape, crack this landscape. Fanatical Offering. If we can find a Girder Goons, we should probably win unless they have like a bolt. So, and they're going to have to block with everything, so I think I'm going to chance it and play a Mephitic Draft now and then draw off of it with the Offering. the 2 damage should be less relevant when they are going to have to lose their whole board. Ooh, we also get a Duress, which is nice. See what they got going on. They bolt the big elemental. Okay. They just have a Snacker and a Swamp. So let's just play a Familiar, Mephitic Draft, draw a card. We'll map onto the big elemental, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I mean, the map would save it from dying or a rogue from dying when they block it, so yeah, we might as well be on the big guy. Cleansing Wildfire, we can get rid of that. Attack with the team, they have to block everything, and then we get to play a Prowler, and we have 4 lethal attackers. Actually, Thunderscape wouldn't be lethal, but this guy's going to survive now, plus the Prowler. Play a Bridge and pass. And their hand is basically nothing, and they got to find 12 damage. I mean, I guess they could grab the prize, discard the Snacker, get all the Snackers back. Maybe find 10 damage off of their other cards. That seems unlikely, though. Epicure is not bad. It similarly lets them deal some damage and get rid of the Snacker, draw a new card. Faithless is pretty good. Luckily, the Snacker's being tapped. They shouldn't really matter, because they either have to win here or just lose here. So get a Kitchen Imp. They need 9 more damage with 1 card and another Faithless. Could be possible if they had like Fire Blasts in their deck. Highway Robbery. Sack a land. Alright, we win that one. Of course, Arms of Adar looks really good in that kind of a situation. Not really sure it's always the best, though. Probably a Spell Bomb is not something we should be leaving out, I would say. Maybe bringing in 1 Arms is decent so that we can maybe have it for the right situation. Double Duress is decent, but we don't have them until turn 4, maybe. We have the bargain. This hand is just way too slow, I think. If one of those lands was a Drossforge, so that I could at least cast our Duress on turn 2, I think that would be keepable. This one is all card draw and nothing we want to sacrifice. But I don't think I'm going to mulligan. It's just, if I have to sacrifice 1 land to get the ball rolling, it might be okay. I don't know. I just don't think we can put away that many cards. And card draw is good if we can find Weather the Storm, although another Reckoner's Bargain's not bad because it's life gain, but yeah, we cut a bunch of the Mephitic Drafts, and this is probably our problem, is that we're not going to have enough ways to have things to sacrifice that we want to. They've grabbed the prize with Kitchen Imp. We're not dead after all. Well, I guess I'm going to just sack this Bridge, because we need to make something happen. Play a Spell Bomb. They Blood Token away a Snacker, and then ditch a Fiery Temper. We're already down to 8. We have to crack this so that their Snacker doesn't come back. Yeah, I mean, they have had just about the fastest start they could have. I guess they didn't do a turn 2 Snacker, but they had a pretty good start. We kept a risky one that's not panning out unless we get like the perfect land, and then we can like, I mean, we're just gonna pass unless they play into our Weather the Storm enormously. Like, we're gonna die, especially because at the end step, if they don't cast anything, or like if we're not dead, we're gonna insight this map, and then we're gonna be tapped out, and they're probably gonna kill us then. Just hard cast a Kitchen Imp. Well, that's, I don't know if that's a flex or not, but it's a bit unfortunate. We will draw 2. No lands, of course, because we sacrificed ours like an idiot. Alright, well, bad keep. Alright, we are on the play here, and the Wildfire looks pretty awkward, but otherwise the hand is okay, so I think we'll start by playing a Landscape, cracking it for red, so that I can have the Wildfire active as soon as I get a Bridge later. So we'll play that and pass. We're against Elves, looks like. Gonna be another one where we don't probably have the interaction to make it super great. We do have Arms of Adar on the sideboard. I could play Guildsworn and start attacking. I guess that's probably fine. We could play the draft and then we get to bargain it right away, but like, not really sure what that accomplishes. I guess we draw, maybe can hit our tap land, like our Bridge faster. They have a Well-Wisher, that's fine. Cast down's good. I'm not going to cast down anything they have currently. I guess by attacking for 2, when they now have a Well-Wisher, we're not really making much progress, and it potentially lets them, if they don't have much to do with their mana, just attack us for a bunch. So I'm actually just not going to attack here. Play a draft, play another Landscape. Pass. They have a Hydra right away as +3/+3, which is interesting. They don't attack because this has Death Touch. Not really sure what the point of doing it right away is then, but that's it's not the worst thing that they could have had. We do get the Bridge, so I think I'm just gonna Wildfire that right away. We're going through our basics real fast here, which could be bad if we kind of waste our Wildfires later, but for now we're just passing. They're gonna be gaining a bunch of life. There's a Priest of Titania. That's what I have to kill with the cast down, so that the next Hydra isn't like a million. Let's start with a draw 3 on the draft, because I'd love to find our Familiar. There it is. Play Familiar. This means cast down is only 1. Their life total likely isn't going to matter for a while, but I am going to... It just makes sense to wait to cast down until they tap the Well-Wisher at the end step here. so that they gain 1 less life. And I said not stop in my upkeep just in case they tried, or in their upkeep, just in case they tried to not use the Well-Wisher and then get to their main phase with the Priest. Just a little thing there. They're playing a Generous Ent. I kind of wanted to Reckoner's Bargain the Prowler here, but the Death Touch feels pretty good against what they have going on. Unfortunately, the Ent also blocks our Girder Goons pretty well. Yeah, I think we'll just trade here. I actually think, because we kind of need green mana for this Walker, I might just sacrifice this Bridge. I guess I could just hard cast like a Goon and then have a bargain up for it. Yeah, maybe we could do that. I don't know. We're in a weird spot. They're in a weird spot. Unfortunately, the Blitz just doesn't do much for us because we don't have the ability to scam it, and they have a blocker, so we're not even getting in for damage. So I'm just going to play this guy out, and I very well might take both the Girder Goons and the 2/2 Rogue and just turn them into 4 cards here. This is going to be a very slow game if we are able to win, because the Well-Wisher, of course, is just going to put them super high eventually, but they have not had the fastest start ever, which is nice. Although triple Generous Ent here, most of which are probably going to get cast, is going to be pretty unfortunate. This might be a deck where we need like a Suffocating Fumes in our main. Oh, they attack with a Hydra, which is just a 3/4. Am I missing something? This is a 4/4. I mean, I guess they just want to get in for 5. Oh, they said they didn't see it was a 4/4. All right, so we get some value there. We're going to bargain the Goons, gain 5. We do get the cast down. I can kill a Generous Ent, and then I could go for the next Goons to attack here, because otherwise they could untap it. I guess I could save it, and then they're going to go to untap it, and then I get to make them bounce a forest. 2, 3, 4, 5, which could be minorly relevant, sure. Another familiar saves us another mana on the Goons, so I can play that for 2. Yeah, we'll do that. Blitz this. Attack with, I guess I can attack with this because it's a 1/1 with first strike. They'd have to throw something relevant in front of it. Once they untap the Generous Ent, I'll just cast it down. Unless they're just not going to, that's fine too. I guess they have so much life, they probably just don't care, which is reasonable. Bargain the Goons again. Draw 3, gain 5. Another Death Toucher. I mean, part of me thinks maybe we're getting away with this. Ooh, Thorn of the Black Rose. Well, now it's a little awkward to be attacked with all those extra creatures. Because if I Thorn, I still have a 1/1 first strike and a Death Toucher. So I block the Generous Ent, and I get to eat something else, and they get the Monarch, and then I could probably take it back anyway. Because if they want to play the Generous Ent, they can't attack with a bunch of things. Yeah, I think we just play the Thorn for 2 mana here. We are missing our green mana, which I didn't really think was going to happen because we have so few Walkers, but there it is. 2 turns away, and we can get this down. I probably should have 1 Forest in the deck, because I could have fetched it a lot earlier, to be fair. Another Generous Ent. Untap the Fyndhorn Elves. They're going to combat. They do swing to take it. So I could block the Generous Ent, but I actually get to just eat 2 Elves here, I think. I can kill the Generous Ent later. Then again, I only have 1 cast down, and if they want to untap with the Query in, then they have 2 blockers. Yeah, actually, I think, unfortunately, I can't take the extra value, and I just get this. I'm going to get the Well-Wisher off the board. 1 mana is not a big deal, and I would like them to stop gaining life. So they take the Monarch, but hopefully it'll only be for a turn with our cast down and whatnot. They draw and pass the turn. Not dead after all. That's going to be really good with the Walker. So cast down the Generous Ent. We can swing with 3 of these just to make sure we can get it. Play Prowler, play a Bridge, and pass. We have a bunch of Eviscerator's Insights because they only cost 3 mana, even flashbacked. Masked Vandal. Okay, that's going to take away probably the green source we just got, which is a little awkward, but we do have an Insight. Actually, let's use the Graveyard one for it. All right, no Walker of the Grove then. All right, maybe Walker's back on the menu with the Slagwoods Bridge. They're going to slam another Generous Ent. I mean, I think the thing that's really going for us is they're getting a bunch of Generous Ents, but they're not getting a bunch of Trample because they used their 1 Hydra they've seen early. Prowler's so good here with Death Touch, I really don't want to sacrifice it. But I do not want to waste all my mana here, so I could sacrifice a Rogue or I could sacrifice 1 land. But I'm going to have so many things to cast. I think I'm going to sack a Rogue here. Oh, I guess I could have not dead after all the Prowler. Maybe that would have been better. I guess I could still do that, but then I've lost my Rogue already. All right, let's draw another 2. Oh my gosh. We get 4 Familiars out. All of these guys just cost like nothing. I mean, I don't think there's a reason not to. Cast this. Well, let's go for a draft first. Girder Goons Blitzed is already just as cheap as it can be with 1 mana. For 1 mana. Colony Garden. Ooh, that can't get destroyed by another Vandal, so that's good. And I think I just Girder Goons Blitz with a Not Dead After All. They can just get a free block with the Generosent, but like I still get an extra card. I get an extra rogue. If they do, I get to attack in with these guys, I guess. Yeah, block here. Block the Girder. So we get in for 2 damage. We get to get back our Girder Goons as a 5/5. They concede. Oh my gosh, that was shown what the deck can do. Of course, they did not have the best elf start ever. If they did, they would have steamrolled us. But like, look at all that value we were able to acquire. If we had green mana earlier, we could have made like an 8/8 and a 4/4. That was super sweet. And now we get Arms of Adar. Now, like I said, I think maybe the deck could use a Suffocating Fumes in the main deck so that even if they did have a decent start, we could have a way to come back from behind. But Arms and Extract seem good. Thorn seems decent. Of course, if they have like a giant trampler, it would be a lot harder. It could be risky. I think Augur seems rough. Maybe we can catch them at the right time, but not often. It's possible Walker's not as worth it because it's expensive and it doesn't have trample. Like, so an enormous creature doesn't matter that much, except on blocks. And they can take away our bridges. I don't know. I guess let's just try cutting a Thorn. No, I feel like Thorn could be really good. Let's just try cutting the Walkers, see if this works. Like, I feel like all the card draw is good. Maybe I could cut a Not Dead After All. One of the really good things about this list, I think, this one's just too awkward, is, yeah, this one's okay, assuming we don't get our bridge blown out. The Thunderscape, if they have like a fast start, we can maybe catch up to it with like a Thunderscape immediately into an Arms of Adar for 3 mana. I think that can be pretty cool. I feel like they're going to cycle a Generosent and then Master Vandal our bridge, which is going to be pretty annoying. But I guess that's what the price we pay. All right, well, another bridge right away, which hopefully won't get destroyed, is good. They do have another Generosent. Do they have another Vandal? Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? I feel like that should be illegal. Okay, I guess I'll just play a Swamp. That's pretty unfortunate. Like, we really wanted this Thunderscape Familiar down. I'm going to have to just kill that Priest. I mean, we're so far behind, but I can't let them have an additional 8 mana minimum. Well, there's another Priest, and I can't really do anything about it unless we top deck a Cast Down, which we don't. I'll play the Draft. Prowler would maybe hold back a little bit more damage. Now we get the Cast Down. But if I drew a land, I really wanted to be able to play it, especially a tap land. Well, maybe they don't have anything to play, but like anything big. Of course, they have another Vandal. They kept the all-Vandal hand, which we're not... I mean, we do have lands that are susceptible, but we're not the most susceptible. We're not playing Affinity is my point. We're not playing the most susceptible deck ever, but we just got triple Vandaled. And, we just die right away. Well, that sucked. I mean, I could bring in Spell Bombs to prevent that, but we're just on the play, which should make it so that we can at least get out a 2-drop. So if we can get out a Wildfire or a Familiar before they can take all our lands, I think that's good. All right, we'll start with the Dross Forge, because if they do take it, I can't fetch a Forest off the Wildfire right now, and I don't want them to blow up our only green source. Conley Garden is good. We do have that green source. We can get a Mountain to ensure, this deck is really, as we've seen, really wants a lot of black, but if they do Vandal away our bridge, the Mountain would ensure that I can play a bridge and then go for another Wildfire. They Winding Way, hit Vandal, Hydra, Mystic. Quarian Ranger untaps to play the Mystic. Alright, I would love to find an Arms of Adar. We do have a Cleansing Wildfire. This will just find another black mana. I mean, it has to, I guess. There's the Arms of Adar. And now I can go for a Colony Garden, because they have the Vandal. They might not have a Cycler, but they probably do. Which means I'd actually rather they get this bridge, because I'd want the black mana and I only need 1 green. Yeah, there's the Generosent. Hey. And there's the Vandal. Takes out the green. Understandably, they don't know quite how important the green is to us. It's not very. I think I just Vandal here, or Vandal. Now they got me saying it. I just Arms of Adar here. Girl, stop. I think I just Arms of Adar. They go down to 2, maybe 3 mana. That seems good enough to me. Play a Garden and pass. There's a Priest. We know they have a Gingerbread Cabin and a Hydra. Alright, they do play another Priest. Kind of want to cast that down. I could Girder Goons plus like Bargain this turn, but then they could play like a pretty big Hydra. So I think we're just casting down, playing a bridge, passing, and then gonna Insight the Plant here. I should have left up the green mana in case we wanted to cycle this landscape, but which actually I might have wanted to for mana efficiency. But if we don't draw land here, it's fine to have the extra land. Draw 2, we get Extract, which is decent if they do get the Hydra down. Thorn, pretty good spot for a Thorn. Then they Hydra onto this. Currently it would only be a 3/5, so I could just block it. Even if they take the Monarch, I can attack. Well, I would still probably block. Then I could extract and then I could blitz the goons. Yeah, okay. Play Thorn then. I could just extract now, but I feel like I'm just not getting the most value. And I'm kind of trying to bait them into going for the Hydra on the Vandal here because I have a pretty good follow-up. Because it looks like to them that they lose their guy, but they keep a Hydra and they keep the Monarch. But I, in fact, have answers to both. Block here, sack the landscape for a swamp. They take one. I take one, rather. They take the Monarch. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I probably don't need to sacrifice a land here. Lands are pretty good. But we can make them extract a Confession. And then we have the Blitz. Literally, when I first built the deck 2 years ago, one of the reasons that I thought Girder Goons was so good was because haste allows you to retake emblems. And I am seeing it here. And they're elves, so I know they're not going to have any haste. Oh, we even get a Thorn, which is kind of funny. They just play a Generous Ent. I have a blocker for that. If they do get Trample, it could be awkward. We're just going to go for a draft first. Familiar is great. That lets me play that and Prowler and hold up double sacrifice spells. Cleansing Wildfire. If they have another Hydra and give this Trample, it's a bit unfortunate for sure this time. We do still have Death Touch, which is not bad. And then we have a Thorn to take it back. Yeah. We're also going to Insight the... How much damage are we taking here? 10? Oh my god. We're going to Insight the draft, see if we just find a cast down, which would be our preference here. No, but we find the Extract. So I can once again... block. We do take a good chunk of damage here. They take the Monarch, but we get to extract again. And they should be running out of Hydras, so we might be okay. Start with the extract, take back the Monarch, play Familiar, Cleansing Wildfire, a bridge. We get a Girder Goons, which I'll use next turn. For now, play a draft. I should have probably just cycled this landscape, actually. Although we haven't played a land, so we'll just play that. All right, we'll pass the turn. They have Avenging Hunter. Okay, we could use another removal spell. We still have like 3 cast downs in the deck, but we do also get to attack with the Girder Goons and the other stuff. So we can take the initiative, probably, depending on what other blockers they play. Well-Wisher and Elves. Sack the landscape for our last swamp. Gonna Offering this draft, go to 3, but we have some life gain in hand. We do get a cast down and another. So we're going to cast down the Hunter, blitz the Goons. We did just pull out our last basic land. That was probably not the smartest. We should have left one back, or we should have left it in our deck so we could pull it out with the initiative, but that's okay. We hit for 7 here, whiff on that. Then we're going to bargain the Goons to gain 5 life, draw a bunch of cards. They gave us the GGs. And we beat Elves. That was what the deck's supposed to do. That was a sweet showcase of it for sure. Really happy with how that one went. All right, 1 out of 3 matches we've been able to do the thing, so to speak. Let's see how well we can do here. This hand looks reasonable. We can Prowler and then use it right away to draw some cards if we need. We have some cast downs for interaction. If we get the mana, I could even Not Dead After All to scam it. We are against something green. Not exactly sure what at the moment. Augur of Skulls plus Not Dead After All. We haven't seen that together yet, but that's in 2 turns I could take 4 cards from their hand. Ooh, Survivor's Encampment, so it's going to be Dredge. Dredge, one of the worst decks to... oh, sorry, they have a Conley Garden in hand. I clicked X on that for some reason. One of the worst decks to discard their hand, for sure, but could still be worth it. I think we're at least waiting a turn because I want to get our land drops. So I think I'm going to play the Prowler so I can Fanatical Offering it, whereas I don't want to do that with the Augur. We do get Thorn. This could be an okay Monarch matchup, but we really need to have those land drops and then make sure that they can't take it with all their various 1/1s. They go for a Rumble, hitting either a Town Greeter or another Colony Garden. Blink and Dread Return in the yard. They take the Town Greeter, hold out Settlement. So I guess they can play that right away if they want. Tap this for green, then sack it, play the Greeter, which they do. That one they mill 4 and they don't hit a land, but they do get a Stinkweed Imp. We do get our Swamp, which is nice. They have 5 cards in hand. Let's see. I could play Augur, but then I can't Offering. I could go for the Offering, in which case I overdraw, but if I had a tap land, it's good. I don't think we're doing that, at least not here. Augur just doesn't seem that useful. I think we're gonna... I want to attack, but if they go for the block, I guess I just Not Dead After All and I still get a card. Yeah, it's not terrible. And if not, yeah, they take 2. All right. We're going to pass. So unfortunately, I probably went a little too deep on like trying to make our game plan happen that we're suffering from not just playing a normal mid-range game like Jund or Grixis Affinity, where we don't have Graveyard Hate in our main deck. We do have some removal, but we don't have Graveyard Hate. We didn't put a Suffocating Fumes in, so we have a lot of weaknesses that game 1 feels like we could just lose to. They unearth a Scrapwork Mutt, so we'll see if that bites us. Feels like it. Maybe I could take 3 or 4 slots to put in some Spell Bombs or maybe a Bajuka Bog or some other stuff to make these matchups a little better. They get another Gatekeeper in the grave, because like I just don't have any way to interact with the graveyard, and it feels like we're not loving that. They swing for 3. Not Dead After All brings the creature back tapped, so can't use this to get a blocker at instant speed. They are probably about to Dread Return, which is going to be unfortunate. They have a giant that can hit for 10. Yep, that's what they're doing. Cycle a Generset in response, sure. So it hits for an extra 1. I must have miscounted. Now it's 10. All right, Not Dead After All, this guy. Go for the Offering, draw 3. We got a bunch of cast downs. I mean, I can kill this, but then they just have another Dread Return to get it back, although they have a momentary blink. So I just have to hold up cast down, and if they go for the momentary blink, I can kill it. Hold this back. I guess I'm just playing Augur, passing. Although if this dies to Death Touch, then they can just like, I don't know. They want it to die, because then they could just like Unearth Gatekeeper, Dread Return it again, and we'll lose. So if they blink it, I have to kill it, but then I die next turn to them unearthing it. Don't really have a way to stop that. And I guess they could just pass here, because this is 4 mana instant speed, so if I try to cast it down, we just lose. I'll swing with the Prowler. They'll take it. Play a Colony Garden. Just pass. I mean, I think they just go for the blink. I cast down. Then they just need to make 3 more creatures. I can't cast down and stop it. So, yeah, we're just not set up to fight this in the main deck. They just have a hard cast Dread Return. Sure, we're super dead. All right, Spell Bombs. This could even be a deck where Fairy Macabre might be okay. We don't have a ton of synergies with it, but obviously instant speed, not being artifact is, not being on the field is all good. But it can be like a creature to sacrifice to these effects, and it can cost cheaper from the 1 dudes. Let's see, Extract or Arms of Adar are both sometimes okay. I kind of think we're just on Spell Bombs here. Augur just seems really bad. Walker's expensive. Maybe we just do that. All right, we have the Wildfires. They have a Colony Garden, Wildfire, and grab a Swamp. Okay. I was going to say I could grab a Mountain if I really need with this landscape, but they're probably going to have Ancient Grudge as their artifact removal of choice, so we probably don't have to worry about the bridge going away. There's an Ancient Grudge, for example. All right, we're ramping a lot, which is good. We're not drawing the best, which is less good. Really not drawing the best. Maybe I should have played a Swamp and played the Draft there, but this way I can have like landscape up. They mill 2 giants and a Gatekeeper and a blink all right away. Rumble, another giant, Generset, and hold out Settlement. If we get a Spell Bomb, we can take away a lot of their giants right away. Sack the Spawn to cast another Rumble right away. Stinkweed, Scrapwork, Ancient Grudge. They take the Scrapwork Mutt, swing for 1. Cast down doesn't do too much. We'll play Mephitic Draft. Draw a card. Walker is decent. Next turn. I would have loved to just have that this turn, because I could have turn 4, evoke, get an extra guy. Like, that would have been sweet. As is, I gotta just pass. I could cycle the Twisted Landscape, and if I hit a Spell Bomb right away, I can play that, crack it. It's pretty good. But if I don't hit the Spell Bomb, by tapping out a cast down, I open myself up to getting Dread Returned on a Leth Giant into immediately flickering it, or blinking it rather, and then I just instantly die, which they have the potential to do because they just milled the Dread Return, they have 3 creatures, and they have a forest in hand we know about. So maybe if my top card of the deck is a Spell Bomb, it would have been okay, but seems like a risky proposition. They go for the Mutt, discard the Stinkweed Imp. I mean, if they can just get to enough creatures, I could just die here with the Dread Return anyway. They can go up to 13, but unless I had a Crypt Incursion in my deck or a Fairy Macabre, I couldn't really do anything about that either way. Another Rumble hits 2 more creatures, and they have a Scrapwork Mutt. Yeah, and if this Mutt just finds like 3 creatures, I'm pretty sure we just die. Because they're at 17, sacrifice these 3, but they lose 1, so they go up to 19, and they just hit for 19. They also might as well attack for 1. If I have double cast down, I could stop this by casting them down right now, but I don't. And they are going to go for it, because if I have a Crypt Incursion, they're going to get screwed by it anyway, so they might as well try. And it's going to work. We get the second cast down. That's pretty annoying. If we just had that a turn earlier, I could have at least survived there a little bit. Well, it happens. All right, we have a reasonable start with the Familiar. If we can get a Swamp, then we can do, like another Swamp, we could do Familiar into Draft and Bargain right away. Try to hit those land drops. Looks like White Weenie. Okay, I mean, I think this is probably going to be easier for us than Spy combo, Dredge. We did win Elves, but those 3 are all ones that we weren't really prepared for. Augur of Skulls. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the safe route and go for a draft here. Because if I play the familiar and it just dies, then we're kind of like not doing much. Whereas this way, if I get another swamp, I can go familiar and bargain right away. And if I don't get another swamp, I can just bargain the draft trying to find that land. I have a Bugler. Bugler's pretty good sometimes. Finds a Skyfisher. We'll take one. We do get a cast down. Ugh. We're going to go to 10 cards. If I hit a land, we still have to discard 2. Or I just like cast down right now. I think I just familiar. And then next turn, if I go for a bargain and hopefully find some lands, I can also cast some spells because we're having the cost reduction. That's the hope anyway. They swing for 3. Skyfisher picks up the Inspector, replay, and cycle Eagles for an Idyllic Range. We get the Swamp. Okay, so the question is, do I want to play an Augur here? Do I just want to cast down because we're already taking too much damage? I could blitz a Goons. Unfortunately, that just leaves me with a tapped 2/2, which is not a very good blocker. I think we're just going to play Augur. It does have Regenerate, so it could be a blocker. More than likely, I'm probably going to play like Bargain or Cast Down, but this gives me some options. Grange onto the Inspector. Smart, making them all the same power and toughness. Journey to Nowhere. Going to take the Augur probably, because it can block and regen. No, they go for the familiar. So I could just bargain that. And I can't block and regen, but I probably need to not do that anyway, because I need to hit some other stuff. Oh, well, I misclicked, and I apparently sacrificed my bridge, so that's pretty funny. We were already losing, but I guess we'll just probably throw out a Shame Scoop here. Those are actually decent draws. Well, we'll take 6. If only I had another land. I could sack this Augur, but then they just crack a clue. They still have 4 cards. Well, down to 2. It's not very good. Colony Garden, Guildsworn Prowler, and pass. They play a Veteran before combat, probably just so they could have like second Strands up or maybe a Remosian Rally if they need it. We will block both of these though. They do Strands to keep their Bugler alive. And then I'm dead because I sacrificed my land like an idiot. Okay, we do get Arms of Adar, although everything there had 3 toughness, so that's a little bit rough. Duress is actually not... It's pretty good against White Weenie. They have a lot of relevant spells. Thorn seems risky. Augur doesn't seem that good. Prowler doesn't seem that good. Don't know if I could take out this many creatures. Maybe we just cut a couple cast downs. Spellbomb's also decent, but we'll leave them out for now. Alright. We can ramp with the Wildfire. Duresses can be decent. Start with the bridge and pass. They got an Inspector. We'll just go for a Cleansing Wildfire, pull out a Swamp, and pass. They have an Informant, discard a Strands, swing for 1. Could just Girder Goons, but I think we're going to Duress, see what they have in hand in case I don't want to get like dusted. Oh, Journey. Well, I kind of want this familiar around and I was about to play it, so I guess I'll just Duress the other Journey as well, and then play it here. Play a Veteran and Inspector. I'm probably going to have to hardcast these Goons unless I get a Not Dead After All right off the top here, which would be nice, but yeah, I kind of need the blocker. We're just going to play that and pass. A lot less value when you're not blitzing it because you don't draw the card ever. And obviously if you don't Not Dead After All right away, you don't get the thing. But like I said, we just need the blocker. Militia Bugler. Arms of Adar would be really good. Bugler into Bugler is pretty strong at this moment. Cast down is not bad. Probably should just play another Goon. I guess we'll play this Landscape. Part of me wants to hold it to cycle, but blockers seem important. Play another Bugler. Finds an Informant. I need some card draw. Draft into a draw 2 would be really nice. Just the draw 2 is not bad, but I don't really want to sacrifice anything here. I could save it, but I'm wasting a lot of mana. If I just crack like a Goons, it's not very good. I think we'll pass. I mean, we are kind of falling behind. Well, it's too late now because I'm already in combat, but I don't know if I should have. Because if I find like an Arms of Adar, I wipe most of their board, attack for 9. We're in a really good spot. Battle Screech. Well, now we're definitely looking for an Arms of Adar. We need it badly. Even more than we did before, you know. Flashback Battle Screech. Here we are going to sack a bridge. I think if we do find the arms, I kind of just want to have a fast clock, so I don't really want to lose these guys. And we find a walker. I'll sack this for black. Okay, we find the Not Dead After All. So I guess I'm just evoking this guy and casting Not Dead After All. We have another 4/4 to block. We have an 8/8 later. Kind of wish I got the walker combo here when it was a little more relevant. I mean, it might be relevant here again if we get that arms, but right now it's not looking super relevant. We might just die to flyers, for example. They're going to play Informant, discard a Plains, crack a Clue, play a Grange on the Informant. They swing with the birds. We just get a familiar. Map onto a goon. We get a garden. I mean, we probably just lose, but I'm going to attack with a couple guys so that we maybe can get in for some damage. We do. Look at that. 12 damage. Play another familiar. Pass the turn. Yeah, and this opens us up to them attacking with everything and probably just die. Yep, to a Guardian's Pledge. I have a cast down for one of these things. Oh, I didn't block with a plant for some reason. It doesn't matter. We are super dead. Well, obviously not a very good record, but we were able to show off some cool stuff, and I do think there's some potential here. We lost a few different matches just because I would say I forgot one of the main rules of brewing, which is you can brew whatever kind of deck you want. You need to respect the meta. You need to know what you're playing against, and unfortunately, if we're going to be playing a mid-range slow deck in this format, we probably need some graveyard hate in the main deck. We probably need at least one board wipe so that we can draw to it. So I think we probably put in a Suffocating Fumes. I think probably a couple Spell Bombs is our best bet in the main deck. Maybe even Relics because we don't care too much about our graveyard, although we have Insights. And also maybe some more Reckoner's Bargains instead of some of these other card draw spells for more life gain. There's definitely some tinkering that needs to be done here. Walker might just be too cute and slow, although with or without the Walker, we probably do want a forest in the main deck so that we can tutor it up with our landscapes and our wildfires in case we do side in like the Weather of the Storm. So there's a lot of tinkering to be done. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the deck. If every match was just a total dumpster fire, then I might consider this not the best one ever, but we had a really good match against Elves where we were able to effectively do what we wanted to, so that gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe it'll be okay. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to my supporters, including my $10 and up monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my Menify link down below. It's the best way to make sure I continue putting out daily videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters, Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JDNPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.